2024 was one of the most insane years ever for my favorites and Fire Emblem heroes. Intelligent Systems had one goal: to bankrupt me. And they did quite the job. My wallet was so abused, it became sentient and started its own Twitter just to complain about me. I sold so many of my belongings that my avatar now lives in a box in Pity Break City, but even with all that, I couldn't be happier to see my favorites make it into Fae or just get new, amazing versions. This is only including heroes released in Book 8, so you won't be seeing any of the newer heroes like Winter from Mortis, but with that said, let's start off with number 13, because there was no way I was going to be able to get this down to only 10 units. Coming in at number 13 is Glenn. Oh my god, I love Glenn so much. And this is one of the things that I love about Fae, making unplayable characters playable. Now I know a few of the Sacred Stone people out there will be saying, Glenn is technically playable, and that's true, but you don't get to have any of his conversations or his supports. And so being able to see him in Fae and letting me have those lines and just getting to see new art from him was a godsend. And I was so happy to see one of my favorite characters, who really doesn't get talked about at all, make it into Fae this year. And so I couldn't be any happier. And the best part was he was free to play, so I actually didn't have to spend any orbs, which was amazing. Coming in at number 12 is Attune Micaiah. Obviously, if you know me, Radiant Dawn is my favorite Fire Emblem game, and so getting to see a new version of Micaiah is always a giant blessing. The thing is with this Micaiah is she just does everything better than all the other Micaiahs before, and not only that, she's one of the most versatile and powerful units in the game. So getting to play with one of my favorite characters in every single game mode is just such a blast. And so I've been having a ton of fun with Micaiah, and the best part is she has survived the power creep wave. She's been going for over 6 months, and she's still amazing. So absolutely glad to see a new version of Micaiah with amazing art making it in this year. Coming in at number 11 is my favorite Awakening character, Duo Lucina. That's right. Honestly, Lucina has been having a rough time in Fae for quite a while. She was amazing year 1. I used base Lucina as my healer red unit, and it was so much fun. But over the years, I really just hadn't had a great reason to use Lucina, other than maybe Brave Lucina with Brave Ike. And so getting to have a new Lucina, and not her only that, but being a duo unit with a Brave weapon and some of the best support in the entire game is just so amazing. And you combine that with fantastic art, and her pairing up with Kron, which is just so touching, was an amazing addition to Fae this year. And I'm just having so much fun with her, and I can't wait to continue to use her throughout the rest of the year. Now we've made it to our top 10, and coming in at number 10 is going to be Summer Petra. Petra is one of my favorite female characters in all of Fire Emblem, and I absolutely adore her in 3 houses. I've been waiting for an alt for her for a very long time. She's one of the few Black Eagles that took this long to get an alt, but with that said, this alt is so great, and I absolutely love the art of this Summer Petra. She looks so great. The one reason why she's not higher on this list is because she is so similar to Wind Claude. They really didn't give her all that much different. She does get some warping, which is really nice, and she also has beast effectiveness, which is super underrated in the current meta, where every single of the top tier units are beast, like Lathreder and Nidhogger in particular. And so I really do enjoy this unit a lot, and I do use her in Aetherite's offense a lot, but I do wish she had maybe something a little bit more unique or something a little bit more crazy to make her really stand out amongst all the other heroes. Coming in at number 9 is Winter Dimitri, and honestly I usually like the time skip Dimitri a lot more, where he's a lot more edgy, but for some reason this one just really touches my heart. The fact that he's so happy and that he looks just absolutely amazing makes me so happy, and not only that, he combines 2 of my favorite playstyles, Omni Tanking and Vantage, together. We've had some units who've done this in the past, but I really love how Winter Dimitri does it, where he's really super mobile, goes in, just destroys somebody, and then gives himself Vantage with that Barbarity preference skill. It's so much fun, and it just allows him to be so unique and cool. Obviously, he does have some weaknesses, but even with that, I've been just having a blast with him, and he was really fun at the beginning of the year when caps were just running absolutely crazy. And I'm really grateful that he did make it on Hero Rises, because it saved me a ton of orbs. Coming in at number 8 is another one of my favorite units from 3 houses, Rearmed Marianne. Now, if you don't know, Brave Marianne is one of my favorite units in all of Fae. I absolutely love her playstyle of being able to give out a dance without actually being a dancer herself. And so when they came out with Rearmed Marianne, she does essentially that, but doesn't have the same weaknesses. It was really nice. And the fact that she's also a flyer, allowing to have that extra mobility, was awesome. So I just really love Marianne overall. Her just having a really powerful weapon as well is really nice, including that it's inheritable and it's a sword, which is kind of hilarious, even though it's technically a tome. When you combine that with unique dance mechanics that allows her to dance other units, or even work with Brave Felix because it doesn't count as an assist skill, it's just so awesome, and I just really love Marianne. So getting to see her get so much love this year was absolutely crazy. Coming in at number 7 is a hero I don't really talk about all that much, Emblem. So Emblem I do like a lot as an OC, but honestly she's not like one of my favorites. But Bridal Emblem as a unit is just fantastic. This is one of my favorite units that came out in the entire year because of all the things she can add to my teams. She's literally best friends with Brave Felix, as she can just turn off any save and allow Felix to just get in there and start destroying things immediately, but also pre-charging his AoE special and her own Gale Force. She's essentially become one of my best units in Ether Raid's offense for every single team. She works on all my Gale Force teams, she works on all my hit and run teams, and now she even works with Emblem Lind as well. And so I've been just having an absolute blast with this unit, and if you don't have her, I definitely recommend picking her up because she is just so versatile and so great. Coming in at number 6 is the face of toxicity of this year in Fire Emblem Heroes, Duo Leon. And if you don't know, Leon is one of my favorite characters in all of Fire Emblem. I think he's just absolutely fantastic as a character, absolutely fantastic as an antagonist, and so I absolutely just loved him. And so when I saw Duo Leon coming out, and he's so happy and he's with Erica, I was just, oh my god, I was so overjoyed. Then I found out that he just turned off everybody's turns and essentially warped the entire game around himself and became the most toxic, powerful unit in the entire game. He just dominated everything, and so everybody began to hate Leon, but that wasn't me. I loved Leon no matter what. I used him in every single game mode. I made everybody else miserable, but in their misery, I found happiness, and so that's what really matters, and that's why he came in at number 6 as my favorite. Coming in at number 5, though, is one of the heroes I've been waiting for since the release of Fire Emblem Heroes, Nurgle. Oh my god, how did it take 7 years for Nurgle to get in this game? I just really don't understand, as he is the main villain of the Western players' first Fire Emblem, right? Even so, all that, he really did show up. Like, he really is perfect. I'm so glad they were able to capture Nurgle's essence as a character and bring it into Faye, not only in his art, but also in his mechanics. Essence Drain obviously is just an extremely powerful effect, and it really just perfectly fits Nurgle, and it allowed Nurgle to just fit into every single team comp I wanted to use him on in every game mode as well. And so he just became best friends with Felix as well and allowed him just to like completely dominate on a whole new level. And so I've just been having a blast with Nurgle, even though he has gotten like hard countered with the new Nidhoggers that have came out. I've still continued to use him, and I still have a really big blast with him. And now I'm just waiting for Athos. Athos is like the big last unit I've absolutely been waiting for this entire time. Maybe Stefan too, but hopefully Athos can join Nurgle this year, and then we'll have both of them complete. Coming in at number 4 is my favorite female character in all of Fire Emblem, Nephany. So I was absolutely ecstatic that Nephany actually got a harmonized unit. I was kind of hoping for a duo, but either way, I was really happy. And the fact that she looks so happy and she gets to run like the summer Hoshiden attire is so cool. But what really made me extremely like just over the top happy with Nephany is that she works perfectly well with Emblem Ike, and that just made everything amazing because we essentially get to have a Radiant Dawn team, even though technically she's from Path of Radiance. That doesn't really matter. Her being able to give out a special jump to Ike and give him even Crux support just made Ike so much stronger, and so being able to get to use them together just made me so ridiculously happy. I can't even explain it. And then when you put on top of that that she is a really great nuke herself, she's actually really underrated at the moment in my opinion. With the right builds, she can nuke things like Nidhogger and even Hector, and she's really one of the better users of the Lin Ring as well. So I've been just having a blast with her, and I'm so extremely happy she was added to the game. If I have one gripe, and the reason why she's not like number 1 or even 2 on this list, is that her backpack is Sakura. And I know a lot of people will get mad at me because they're Sakura fans, but I just don't like Fates at all. I hate Fates. So seeing Sakura attached to Nephany was not the best thing for me, and I really wish she was somebody else in a different game, so I could have like take more advantage of that harmonized skill. So that's the one small downside with harmonized Nephany, but overall, I'm just ecstatic she's in the game. Coming in at number 3 is one of my other favorites in the game, Desert Altina. Now, Altina isn't my favorite female character, but she's my favorite Faye character, right? Because essentially, like Glenn, she's really a character you don't get to play in Radiant Dawn. You really don't get to learn all that much about her. But in Faye, she's a complete character. You get to learn so much about her. You get to see all of her voice lines, all of her amazing art. And so getting to see her in Faye and getting to have a new version of Altina was just an absolute blast. The other thing, of course, is that she gets to play a different playstyle than her other 2 Altinas. Base Mythic Altina definitely wants to play that Vantage playstyle much more, and the same could be said for like Winter Altina. So getting to see a new Altina who is just built to Omni-Tank, even has a new preference skill that really helps her with Omni-Tanking, was so cool, and it just made me extremely happy because at that time Omni-Tanks were extremely weak, and so getting to have one of the new powerful Omni-Tanks be Altina was just amazing. And on top of that, her art is like god tier. So overall, I couldn't be more happy with this Altina. I've been having a lot of fun with her. I've been updating her build with all kinds of new stuff that makes her way more powerful, and I've been just having a blast. So, coming at number 3 is Altina. Now, this might be a surprise for some people, but number 2 is actually going to be Emblem Ike. Emblem Ike is just, oh my god, god tier Omni Tank, completely breaks everything. But the thing that really made me happy was that we finally got a new preference skill. After 7 years of Radiant Ether, 7 years of Radiant Ether, we finally got a new preference skill. Now, technically, Fallen Ike has like Chaos Ether or whatever, Mayhem Ether, but it's essentially the same thing, right? And so to finally see them give Ike the respect he deserves and give him the most broken preference special we might have ever received was so just fulfilling, right? I was so happy with that. And not only that, he really brought back Omni Tanks in a big way. He was a god tier Omni Tank. I still consider him the best Omni Tank in the game at this moment. And then even getting like, you know, Emblem Selka's ring on top of that, allowing him to just be a mobile threat that could just destroy teams by himself. It really just brought the fantasy of Ike to Faye. The reason why he's at number 2, of course, even though he is my favorite character, is that he is very similar to the other Ikes, right? Essentially, every Ike we've gotten is like an Omni Tank Ike who just kind of sits there and kills things in enemy phase, spamming Ether. Even Valentine's Ike is like a save Omni Tank kind of, right? Like it's very similar. And so that's the only reason why I have him at number 2. I do hope the next Ike is like maybe a seasonal Ike and he gets to play a different role, like maybe a nuke or a support. That'd be really fun. But with this Emblem Ike, I really couldn't be happier. Amazing art, amazing unit, super fun in every single game mode, and I'm still using him to this day. But with that said, here comes number 1. Not a surprise to anyone, it's Brave Felix. Now, Felix only got into the game last year with his base version, and honestly, it wasn't the best. It was a little bit underwhelming. He definitely didn't like stand up to some of the other Omni Tanks that came out. But Brave Felix just blows all of that away. Not only do you get an amazing unit who can do essentially everything, he just looks amazing, right? He looks amazing. He has an amazing preference skill. He really feels like Felix from Three Houses, where I would just send him off to a part of the map and he would just destroy the entire map by himself. And so being able to get to play that fantasy of Three Houses in Faye in every game mode just made me so ecstatic, right? Like by far, Brave Felix is my favorite unit to play with right now. He's just so much fun. I know a lot of people will say he's toxic and he ruins the game. I don't care. He's so much fun, and that's what matters to me. I play Faye for fun, and getting to play with my favorites and having them be like ultra meta is just the best combination. And so for me, Brave Felix by far is my favorite unit of 2024, and I'm really looking forward to getting to continue to play with him even more as new skills come out and I can update his kit even further. Okay, with that said, that is my favorite units of 2024. I'd love to hear from you. Which units did you adore that came out? What kind of builds did you give them? And what units are you looking forward to coming out this year in 2025? As always, I'd like to thank all my members for their constant support. And if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. This has been Oblivion. I'll catch you all later with more Fire Emblem Heroes.